will help me to grow. I submitted an application, and the only reason why I didn't get it was that they said there that it should be a multidisciplinary team of 5, and we put 4. They said the idea was good. They showed us our scores. We scored 85%, but we missed on that mistake. But the growth mindset will say, good, I'll go on. Fixed mindset will say, I don't know how to do it. Growth mindset will say, I can learn, I can ask other people. Fixed mindset will say, this isn't working. But the growth mindset will say, let's find another way. Fixed mindset will say, I'm not good enough. Growth mindset will say, I will put in my best effort. Let me add one. Who do they think they are? I'm too big for this. But the growth mindset will say, well, let me learn from this person. I'm older than the person. I'm more senior, but I can learn. That is growth mindset. So in transforming our growth mindset into fundable concept, we will say that we will jointly solve our challenges with effort and collaboration. We will drive learning through our curiosity. We will build stronger teams. And in building stronger teams, please let me make a particular comment. But before I do that, I need to identify and acknowledge the arrival of our teacher, Professor Musa Tola Atimo. He taught me. Yes. So, these are the ways we transform our funding. Profs, I know you go and visit your friends. That's Professor. Okay, they said they were mates in undergraduate class. Some of us were not born then. Okay, and they're also greeting another living ancestor. Welcome. Sorry, we need to give them. It's part of funding. So these people, they throw up ideas. But there are also people who will help me in the writing. I cannot write everything. I cannot write everything. This is there. Because how do you document your successes? How do you make sure that you are on track? How do you make sure that you reach the goal that you set? These are one, you have to have kick-off meeting. They see their grants, they forget. You need to spend money to bring people together. So if your collaborators are from Zamfara, University of Calabar, and Funab, look for a central point. Budget it, let them come. Have a one-on-one 2 to 3 day inception meeting depending on the size of the grants. If it's a small one, it can be online, but make sure that you have a kick-off meeting. Why? Let's first understand the proposal together, because during the writing process, we must have written bits and pieces. One of the things that brings ignorance is when we do not clarify. And somebody thinks this is my territory, or somebody thinks, well, I do this rule, let them all come and clarify and agree on roles. Then we create timeline and deadlines. In that case, we need people that are good in project management. Please, the younger generation, I have a question. How many of you has done a course on project management online before? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. Can you tell me the types? Prince? Has anybody done Prince? Which one did you do? Anybody? I saw many hands up. Huh? PMP. Okay, PMP. Which other one? Okay, so if you have done it and you want to work in a team that is doing a grant, then manage that qualification. Let's know that you know how to manage projects. You are trained for it, and then you are part of it. And for those of us who are older, let's bring in those who can manage projects so that they can create a timeline for us, they can follow up, they can do all of these things for us. Then we can use our shared tools for collaboration. We are all working on a document together. We are using Trello, we are using MS Teams, we are using Google Docs. Not that you will send email to me, my own is version 17, then I send it to Professor Adekoju, but because it did not see version 17, it's working on version 15. Everything is modular. But when we're working on a collaborative tool, then we are all about to work in real time. Recently, one of my friends and I were working on a document we started around 5 p.m. in the evening because the deadline was 11:59 in Seattle, and we knew that would be like 5 a.m. our time. We started working together, and we were talking on WhatsApp. Sometimes you say, I can see you on line 4. I will say, I can see you on line 17. We worked till 5 a.m. and then we submitted the document. I'm not saying that it must always be hard. No, but sometimes it has to be hard. But what made it easy for us was that we were working collaboratively. Imagine if I had to finish before she finished, then we would have missed the deadline. Next slide, please. I think I'm on the last place. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give her a round of applause. We are very great to give. And the beauty of what we are trying to do is to share the experience of what we have done and the impact it has had. So we are going to the person that will handle that. Next slide. Writing the grant proposal. I hope you are understanding what is happening here.
If you're forming your team, because if you are applying for a grant as a younger person, you are not likely going to be the PI because you are not experienced. You may have the idea, you may have all those things, but there is need for you to get a PI that will carry you along and that will mentor you very well. I'm talking from practical experience. If you're forming your team or you're working with your PI to form a team, it's also very important to get people that will not cause you to be blacklisted. Because there are some organizations or institutions that have been blacklisted by funders due to some malpractices in implementing the grant that was given to them. So you have to be careful because as you are coming up, your name is going to enter the database of these funders as a part of the team. And that team is blacklisted, that means you have also been blacklisted. It will be difficult for you to get any funding from them. So that's why I always think you should be careful in the team that is being selected and that you are being part of. It's very important because your success also will depend on it. Whether the grant is going to be successful depends on the team. When as a younger person, you started writing grants, writing, I'll have to go to my professors, I will tell them that they have to be, I will bring up the concept, write the thing and take it to them. They will monitor what, initially I didn't understand what was happening, but when I discovered what was happening and I corrected that mistake, we started having progress. And along the line, we have made very serious progress. So I think it's very important for you to consider it because of your future. It's very, very important. Because as you are growing up, you don't know those that are blacklisted by some funders and they will not tell you. So it's very important that you look at it. I'm looking at writing the grant proposal, the content. From what is being projected, you see that there is a section, but before I go into that, a typical grant proposal has structured sections. And it's always good you follow the funders guidelines. They will give you a guideline and they will tell you the sections you have to complete to do that. And in doing that, you must use clear, concise, compelling, and complete as well as correct language. I'm saying this because it's very important. A language that a non-expert can understand. Because the first person that will read it might not be an expert or be an officer that is in charge of the project arm of the funder, and we just have to go through it, and once he okays it before they will even take it to a reviewer. Just as it is when you want to publish a paper in a reputable journal, the first person that will receive that journal will be a person they have, and the editorial assistant that is engaged by the journal. Just look at it, and once it does not flow, maybe the language is bad, they will throw it off even before it gets to the editor, before it gets to peer review. The same with your grant proposal. And then you should try to use data and evidence to support your need. This morning I was talking to one of the funders that is here, and I was telling him that because we've been discussing about some funding for the state where my institution is located, and he had visited some time and we've been talking about it, and I was telling him that he has not remembered what we discussed before, and he was telling me that actually there is no agenda. And what I picked from our little discussion this morning is that there is no evidence, because he also referred me back to an evidence that is just coming up from a particular state, and because of that he can make a case for funding for that particular state, that there is no evidence. So what it means is that I will go back and try to see how I will make my students, I will start to do some research, I will create a baseline and make it visible. So with that we can also try to use it as evidence, but there are already existing evidence. We have some smart surveys, we have the NPHS, we have reports from WHO, from UNICEF. If you're writing a grant, you must back it up. You don't just make a generic statement and say this is this because of what your own perception or what even the general people are saying in that location. It must be backed with evidence, and you must also cite such evidence. So you don't just make such, and then you must also show the impact and the feasibility of your project. Your project is anticipated to make a mark, to solve a problem. So you must show that this is what this project is going to solve, and you must link everything together, and it has to be something that is very clear, concise, as well as compelling. It must be compelling. So you must learn how to use your language very well. So there are two sections of a grant proposal. When you're writing a grant, this is just a typical section. The funders have, each funder has its own guideline on how you are going to complete it. But this is typically what you will see. You will see the cover page where you will put in your details, the organization and the PI. If possible, they will ask you what the amount you are doing. Where you are going to tell them what you are going to do with just a little in a paragraph. You tell them, and they always limit you. They tell you the number of words you use. And as you're currently now, as you're working on the system and your typing is no more writing, you will be seeing the number of words. So you cannot exceed that number of words. Majorly, they will tell you between 250 to 300 words. That's what the abstract and the execution summary will always tell you, most times now, from some of the funders. And then you see the background and the problem statement. Here is very important. You do the background and bring out the problem. If you don't clearly state the problem, then, or you confuse it, it becomes difficult. So it should be something that is systematic. For instance, you want to talk about a problem, you don't just go and talk about it and you go back and start talking about another problem and you bring it again and you jump them together, but you must systematically flow that first the woman must be pregnant, then we pregnant for 9 months, then we give birth, then the child will start. So then you must flow. You don't just jump from the woman being pregnant and you talk about the child, and then you go back again to the pregnancy. So it must flow. You should try to make sure it flows, and it's very compelling. It's very simple and easy if you understand how it flows. And I can tell you that there are some things we miss. Some of us will go and tell AI to write it for us, but if you write it yourself, you can tell AI to help you fine-tune it so that it flows. That's an ethical way of using AI. It can help you to now make it flow. Then you go back again to read it, and then put the human touch, and there are so many things you may have to touch on that AI, what AI has given you, and it will make it easy for you. Then you look at the goals and objectives. Professor Marshall has already talked about having smart goals, having smart objectives. Your objective and goals must be smart, meaning that it must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be achievable, it must be realistic, and it must be achieved within a time frame, time bound. So, and the objective and the goal must align, as earlier stated by Professor Falake, to what you're solving, which is the topic and what the funders will take care of. You don't just, now after you've given them a topic that is very beautiful, that aligns with them, and you come to the objective, you are telling them about something that they are not going to fund. There are some funders that do not have anything to do with animal, and then you come to the objective, you are telling them you are going to examine one particular, how rats and rabbits are working on work with, when you are giving them improved variety of seeds or this, they will throw it out. So it has to be in line with what the funders want to fund or will fund. Then you have the methodology and the work plan. It's very important. This is also key. The methodology is where you will tell them, you will state how you are going to achieve each of those objectives, those specific objectives you stated. And you don't start with objective 4, how you are going to achieve it before you go to objective 1. You have to tell them how you are going to achieve specific objective 1, how you are going to go about it. You explain it in a very clear term. Then you explain to them how you are also going to take care of specific objective 2 till the last specific objective. And then you are also going to, before you now bring out the work plan on how you are going to achieve them. Because there must be a work plan. The first week, if you are going to do literature review, you are going to do a text review to find out to do this. You are going to do it between this first week or the next 2 weeks. You have to also do it, and there are so many AI tools that can help you. But before you do that, you must have identified the weeks so that they become beautiful. You must have identified the weeks that you are going to do them, and you can now take what you've identified, write them, type them on here, and tell them to make a chart, a beautiful chart. It can now help you to do that. But if you don't, know that, and you tell it to do it for you, AI can give you something and you just take it and put it there, and surely I can assure you